Holy crap. We're not gonna go any further. That's a power line.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Living in North Carolina channel. Normally we talk about life here in North Carolina, what makes it such a special place to live, from the stunning mountains to the charming towns. But today we're going to take a different direction and talk about something a bit more serious that you've probably heard about in the news.
The worst flooding ever on record for the state.
121 people are now confirmed dead.
Hurricane Helene.
Helene is on the move.
It seemed only right to share this with all of you because while it's been devastating, it's also deeply connected to what life in North Carolina is all about. So I'm 36 years old, and the closest thing that's occurred in my lifetime to Hurricane Helene was Hurricane Hugo, which was September of 1989. I was just a baby when Hugo hit, so I don't remember it personally, but my family's told me about the devastation it caused. That storm hit different areas and was far worse than Helene for the Charlotte and Hickory regions. But when it comes to the mountains, Helene has impacted them on a whole other level. We live in the foothills of North Carolina. And while Adriano and I saw the share of the storm's force at our home, what happened just west of us in places like Morganton and Asheville was unimaginable. So we filmed some of what happened on our property, and we did lose dozens of trees, and it just took us all day to cut our way out of our own driveway. But we were without power for about a week, and thankfully we had a generator, so it kept the essentials running and our home stayed safe. Initially, we had planned to share that footage with all of you, but after seeing the devastation just 1 hour away from us, we decided against it. Not that there's anything wrong with sharing what we went through, but we wanted this video to be more about not just our personal experience. So I want to talk about what this storm revealed about North Carolina. And it's something truly beautiful because you see, when disaster strikes here, we don't just sit back and wait for help. We are the help. The response from our communities has been nothing short of extraordinary. And even while many were still without power or water in their own homes, they were out there helping others. So people shared what little they did have, and volunteers from all over the state gathered to load helicopters with supplies like water and food and medical aid, and they were flying them to the hardest hit areas. So while entire towns are devastated, North Carolinians showed up, and that is who we are. I know many of you watching might have experienced similar situations, and maybe you've lived through your own tragedies, and you've seen firsthand how communities can either come together or fall apart. So here in North Carolina, we rally together and we support one another. And if you've been through something similar, I'd love for you to share your story in the comments below. How did your community come together? How did they show their strength? Because in times like these, it's those stories of unity and compassion that truly matter. Now, I also want to address some of our usual content here on the channel. Many of the places that we have featured, like Morganton and the Blue Ridge Parkway and the beautiful mountain towns in Western North Carolina, they were hit the hardest. But we're not taking down any of those videos, and we're certainly not going to stop celebrating the beauty in these areas. Yes, a lot of what we've shown has been damaged, but the beauty of North Carolina goes so far beyond its landscapes. It's in its people, in our resilience, and how we rebuild. So we will continue to highlight these places because they will rise again, and they always do. This storm, like none we've seen in over 1,000 years, has brought loss that's hard to even describe. Entire towns like Chimney Rock have been wiped off the map. It is heartbreaking. But in the midst of all that destruction, what we're seeing is something equally powerful. People from all walks of life coming together to rebuild and support one another. It is that spirit that I hope this channel communicates to all of you. That beyond the beauty of our landscapes, it's the people of North Carolina who make this place remarkable. We are resilient and we are strong, and when we're knocked down, we stand up together. North Carolina has always been a place where community means everything. The mountains, the beaches, the rolling hills, they are breathtaking. But what makes this state truly special is how we come together when times are tough. After Hurricane Helene, we have seen families, neighbors, and even strangers showing up for each other in ways that remind me why I love this state so much. From volunteers hiking into isolated areas with backpacks full of supplies, to churches and schools and community organizations collecting donations, it is the human spirit that makes North Carolina shine. So to wrap up, Adriano and I want to say thank you for your patience as we've navigated this challenging time. We will continue to share content about what makes North Carolina beautiful, Not because we're ignoring the devastation, but because we know that this state's beauty, its landscapes, its people, its spirit, will endure and thrive again. So if you want to support the relief efforts happening across North Carolina, we've included some links in the description below. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We will be back soon with more stories of what makes North Carolina such a wonderful place to live. And please share your stories in the comments below. If you've experienced tragedy that brought out the best in your community, share it with everyone else. We'd love to hear about it. How have you seen people rise up to support one another? Tell us all about it. So thank you for being here and for caring about this beautiful state and for being part of the Living in North Carolina family. And we will see you next time.